points a game in points off turnovers. And for the Shockers, they want to run their offense, try to prevent those turnovers, take care of the basketball, go inside the score, and then they've got to get back down the floor, pick up, and defend in transition.
Jeb Hartness, Sean Cassidy, Wesley Ford, the referees today. Jeb Hartness is the crew chief. He'll be tossing it in a jump circle, and Tarleton, in essence, steals the tip, and a layup is good. So a good start for Shamir Bogues and the Texans off the opening tap.
He's a really smart player, that Bogues. He's an all-defensive team in the WAC, and he's the guy that they like to stick on the other team's point guard, make his life miserable. There he is, getting after Craig Porter.
And Bogues is kind of coming off a hand injury. Bell got an open look from Porter. Boy, you're not going to get a cleaner look than that. Wichita State, that's been a source of heartburn for them this season. They're among the nation's worst in three-pointers made. And just like that, they're off to an 0-for-2 start, but 2 offensive rebounds keep the ball on this end.
That's been the Shockers' Achilles heel so far this season. 3-point shooting, having a hard time knocking down those open jumpers.
Wichita State 25.5% from distance. Porter in the lane and scores. He had a hard time scoring in there, Bob, against San Francisco the last time the Shockers played.
Oh, he had a ton of those shots. He was 5 for 20 in that game. Still played a heck of a ball game, but he had a lot of shots in the paint and just couldn't get them to fall. There's the Shockers dropping into their 1-1-3 matchup zone defense. They like to switch defenses, go from man to zone, and try to keep the other team off balance.
Mid-range jumper wouldn't go down by Gatkuth, and Kenny Poto wrestles it away from Gatkuth, trying to follow his own miss.
Well, the Shockers are a little bit taller team, but it's not going to appear like it today because the Texans got a bunch of quick 6'5", 6'6" guys that can all get up and play above the rim.
It'll be interesting to see if, for Wichita State, this turns into a Kenny Poto, Quincy Ballard game, because those are 2 guys that flirt with 7 feet, and meanwhile, Tarleton can't match that, at least size-wise.
Well, we'll see. Shockers do have a little more size, but Tarleton's very quick, and as you see that back there, they do a good job of boxing off. That time boxing off Kenny Poto, not letting him get that offensive rebound.
Wichita State victorious a year ago. Great back cut by Gatkuth, and a nice find by Shamir Bogues.
Yeah, kind of Xavier Bell, experienced guy, transferred in from Drexel, got overextended that time, let his man go backdoor for the easy one.
Shockers winning last year's game 65-51, and high-scoring Freddie Hicks last year only had 9 points on 10 shots. Porter wants a 3 angle left. That's good. It depends on who shoots them for Wichita State. He's one of the guys that can hit the threes. He hasn't had a lot of help, though, around him shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah, he's 35% from 3, and Jaquan Walton 46% from 3, but the rest of the squad for the Shockers has a very low percentage.
Good wall off by Kenny Poto, and the shot off the side of the backboard and eventually touched Ja'Cory Smith on the end line.
Hard to get a rebound laying on your back, but there's a situation right there where Ja'Cory Smith got one, but unfortunately for him, he was laying on the out-of-bounds line.
Couple of things to watch for today in addition to Bob's keys. Tarleton gets to the free throw line a ton. They've actually made 18 more free throws than Wichita State has even attempted. Shockers have averaged 10 free throw attempts per game.
Well, that's what you got to do right there. If a team is pressuring and making it difficult for you to pass the ball around the perimeter, you've got to go backdoor, and that time a nice backdoor cut by Walton, nice pass by Kenny Poto.
Little mid-range in the short corner wouldn't go, and a tap is good by Ja'Cory Smith.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Smith snuck inside of Walton's box out, got that tip in. That's 3 easy baskets at the rim for the Texans.
Smith averaging just over 10 a game. They had a tremendous showing in the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands, losing in the title game to Drake. And Wichita State's off to a pretty good offensive start. Craig Porter strikes again.
Texans will try to get a quick shot, try to beat you down the floor, and then once they get in the half court, Billy Gillespie's teams, though, they'll swing the ball, they'll run a little time off the clock. They're not going to be in a big rush in the half court.
Hicks misfired.
That's the guy right there that tore up the Paradise Jam tournament, Freddie Hicks.
Hicks missed the first 2 games of the season coming off of foot surgery, but in the 3 games that he's played, 25.7 points per game. And an up and down first 4+ minutes, Wichita State with the early lead.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
This is 100% fresh beef with 2
medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like. Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the If you're ready.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
If you're ready.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
If you're ready.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough. If you're ready. An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the
Feels like a change is coming.
Tarleton made a bit of history on Sunday as they earned their first win over a Power 5 opponent as they transitioned to Division I. They beat Boston College, beat them up 70-54 to get that milestone under third-year head coach Billy Gillespie, who is no stranger to big games throughout his coaching career, Bob.
Yeah, Billy's been around, coached in high school, coached in junior college, and has had a trip around Division I. Very successful at UTEP, very successful at Texas A&M, coached a couple of years at Kentucky for the Wildcats, and then Texas State and now Tarleton. But he's been coach of the year in 4 different conferences, so heck of a basketball coach.
James Rojas makes the first free throw for either team. Again, Wichita State doesn't get there very often statistically and shoots at only 68% when they do, but Rojas has got Wichita State so far so good on the offensive end, Bob.
Well, you can tell so far that Isaac Brown wants the Shockers getting that ball inside, taking it at the Texans. Boy, they're talk about taking it at. That's the Texans taking it right at the Shockers. Down the floor inside to Ja'Cory Smith for a little jump hook.
Smith, native of Utica, Mississippi, with 4 quick points. He's deadly from the free throw line too, Ja'Cory Smith, 17 out of 21. Again, they get to the stripe a lot. 139 free throw attempts for Tarleton so far this season in their 5 games. Rojas had his pass knocked out of bounds. Shockers will have it with 7 to shoot. Their starting 5 still intact, and just as I say that, in comes Gus Okafor, first sub off the bench for Wichita State.
Well, as you can tell, the guys in purple, the Texans, they really like to pressure you in the half court. They get a lot of pressure on the ball. They really make it difficult to have you make the next pass. They really deny passes and make it difficult for you to run your offense.
Bell tried to shake Daniel and drew a foul and go to the free throw line, so Billy Gillespie can't be happy about that. With 3 on the shot clock, Wichita State gets 2 free throws. Well,
good job by Xavier Bell. Taking a little hesitation dribble there, faked one way, went the other way, and drew the foul on Daniels. Bell's a lefty from the Wichita area, played for Andover. And he's pretty good going to that left side.
Bell, prior to that trip to the line there, was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Bell had 3 points against USF. 14 was his career high at Wichita State a couple of games ago up in Kansas City against Grand Canyon.
Shockers switching up their presses. Now it's a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap, trying to hurry the Texans up a little bit. They didn't seem to have much trouble attacking it. But the shot clock sits down under 20 after you attack a press like that.
Gatkuth couldn't enter the post to Freddie Hicks. Instead, a Bogues three right side is good. Shamir Bogues with a first triple for the Texans.
Yeah, hasn't shot a lot of threes, only 2 for 2 for the whole season, but looked pretty good on that one. The lefty knocked that one down.
And Tarleton, kind of like Wichita State in that regard. They don't depend on the three all that much. Only make 31%, and they've only made now 25, and this is their 6th game, so they don't shoot many triples.
Well, I'll tell you, Billy Gillespie does a good job of getting those guys down in a stance. They got it inside to Rojas, turned back the shot.
Porter kind of backhanded a layup that wouldn't go down. Okafor kept it alive, and he calls a timeout. Good hustle play by Gus Okafor. That'll save a possession for Wichita State.
Yeah, Shockers got a pretty good shot at the rim by Porter. Missed it, but Okafor really battled for the rebound and went down to the floor to secure that basketball and call timeout while he did it.
Shocker fans know this to be true. There are a lot of new faces and names on this year's team, Gus Okafor being one of them. And he's kind of, I think, probably going to evolve into, if he hasn't already, kind of a glue guy for Wichita State, can guard a couple of different positions. It's going to end up on the floor like that more times than not.
Yeah, Okafor had a pretty good game up against San Francisco up in Kansas City tournament. Had 10 points, 7 rebounds, and shot a real good percentage. Got 4 offensive rebounds in that ball game against the Dons. So he's a lunch pail guy that plays inside, really battles the boards. But I'll tell you, he can step out and hit some threes. He hit a big 3 in that comeback against San Francisco in those last 5 minutes of that ball game.
Hit the opening 2 3-pointers in Wichita State's last home game against Alcorn State. Yeah, Okafor from Southeast Louisiana, Walton from Shelton State, Pierre from Southern Miss, and, of course, Xavier Bell from Drexel. So Wichita State got a boatload of transfers on this roster.
Shockers going inside again, running a little set play out of that timeout. Got the ball down low to James Rojas, who takes the ball at the basket and draws another foul. So far, the Shockers have done a good job of getting the ball inside and taking the ball at the basket, drawing fouls.
Now taking a page out of Tarleton's book. They like to go to the free throw line. But so far, Wichita State's gotten there with more regularity. That's the first foul on Freddie Hicks, the high-scoring sophomore for Tarleton. Hicks 0 for 2 so far from the floor. And Rojas splits the pair at the line. He's got 3 free throws. Kenny Poto back in after a brief rest. He'll replace Rojas.
This time a little 2-2-1 zone press. Shockers trying to show a different look every time defensively. Looks like they've dropped back into the matchup zone. Tarleton does a nice job of moving that basketball. Really move that ball from side to side. Very active offense.
Both teams off to good shooting starts. Shockers 4 of 8. Texans 5 out of 10 from the floor. Difference is Wichita State +4 at the free throw line so far.
Yeah, they're trying to get that ball inside to Freddie Hicks, but so far the Shockers have done a fairly good job of keeping the ball away from him.
Deep in the shot clock, an angled 3 left would not go. Bogues misfires, and Wichita State with a defensive board.
Yeah, he hit one earlier from the right side. That time missed from the left side. Craig Porter grabbing the basketball, calling out a play, getting the Shockers organized. Oh,
had it poked away by Ja'Cory Smith, leading a 3-on-1. And a layup rolls in for Freddie Hicks, his first basket.
Steal by Bogues. He leads the team in steals. He's an outstanding defensive player for the Texans. On the all-defensive team on the WAC in the WAC last year.
Bogues overplayed, and it turns into a Wichita State basket as Porter got by his man and set up Gus Okafor.
Yeah, that was a nice pass by Craig Porter, playing with his head up. Found Okafor on the weak side wide open.
First assist for Craig Porter Jr., who does a little bit of everything. For those not familiar with him, he's a stat sheet stuffer. And on the offensive glass, Ja'Cory Smith is killing Wichita State, and Isaac Brown has seen enough.
Yeah, Isaac Brown not real happy coach right now. You can't let a guy catch the ball in that short corner behind the zone defense, and that's exactly what they let the Texans do, catch that ball in the short quarter behind the defense, and then you're in trouble if you catch it there. Let them catch it there.
Normally, Bob, Tarleton kind of hangs its hat on forcing turnovers and turning them into points. Offensive rebound, a different story. 12:23 left. We're even.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turf.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turf.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
This is 100% fresh beef. With two.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turf. I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turf.
If you're ready.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turf.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough. If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough. If you're ready.
Normally, Charles Koch Arena is a house of horrors for non-conference opponents in November and December, but Alcorn State back on the 12th took down Wichita State 66-57. So in the midst of 4 of their next 5 at home, Wichita State trying to recapture the magic here at the Roundhouse.
Yeah, and there's Isaac Brown on screen. You know, he's the 2021 American Athletic Conference Coach of the Year, won the conference championship that year over a very, very strong Houston team. Last year dropped down a little bit, but trying to get a whole bunch of new guys formed into a team right here. Kenny Poto missing right at the rim. That's one the big fella needs to knock down.
Wichita State had a bunch of those not go down at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. A lot of shots in the paint that wouldn't fall.
Yeah, you talked about Isaac Brown and all the newcomers they have. 11 newcomers that play a lot for Wichita State. So he's trying to find that chemistry, figure out his substitution patterns, and try to mold all these new guys into a team.
The much bigger Kenny Poto kind of shadowing Freddie Hicks, try to keep the ball out of his hands. So far, so good on that front. Hicks is 1 for 4 from the floor.
Shockers missed an easy one on their end, and Texans missed an easy one on their end.
Shema Scott into the game for Wichita State. So dual point guards for the Shockers as Scott and Craig Porter Jr. both in there at the same time. Okafor's in trouble. Poto trying to back down Hicks. Drew the foul. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, the Texans just a little too aggressive on defense inside here early in the game. Billy Gillespie's not too happy about it over there, but that was a pretty obvious foul. Watch number 3 Bogues come in there and just hammer Kenny Poto. That was a pretty easy foul to call.
Poto was 6 points in his last outing. Went for 13 against Alcorn State in the previous home game. And pretty feathery shooting touch from the free throw line for the big guy Kenny Poto out of Sunrise Christian Academy just up the road.
Yeah, they kind of lit a fire under him in that second game up in Kansas City in the San Francisco game. He got in there and got some really tough rebounds on the offensive glass and defensive glass. He was battling in there, battling some 7-footers. Another miscue by the Shocker zone. Got an easy one on the weak side. Beautiful pass that time.
And a near turnover, but Porter with a lane to the basket. Too high up off the glass. Poto with an and one.
Yeah, Shockers fortunate not to get a turnover that time. Came back to quick. Porter, who got it to Kenny Poto for an easy one. Maybe not so easy. Watch Porter put it up on the glass, and Poto has to battle that one up. That was a strength coach bucket there. Showed some strength getting that one up in the basket with the left hand, Shane.
So 5 team fouls for Tarleton. And Ja'Cory Smith has picked up his second foul, so something to monitor there, Bob. Ja'Cory Smith with 8 points, kind of been killing Wichita State in the paint, but he's got 2 fouls now.
Yeah, and they've done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble in their first 5 games. They're forcing a lot of fouls on their opponents and staying out of foul trouble themselves. That's why they get so many more free throws than their opponents, but not so far this afternoon.
Mid-range turnaround by Gary Clark. Averages about 5.5 a game, so he comes in off the bench to provide some instant offense.
Kind of a rangy junior college transfer, 6'7". He can play the high post and knock those 15-footers down.
Normally Lou Williams is the 6th man that comes off the bench and provides a spark, but Gary Clark does so here, and there's a hand check as called by Sean Cassidy. So that's foul number 6 for Tarleton, not midway through the first. Craig Porter Jr. back in for Wichita State. Shema Scott will sit.
Yeah, that foul was on Gatkuth. Am I saying that right?
Gatkuth.
Gatkuth, yep. I'm sorry. Gatkuth picked up that foul. Hand check on against trying to guard Taquan Walton.
First foul on Gatkuth. It's been a back and forth first 10 minutes. Tarleton's largest lead 2. Wichita State led by 5 briefly. Okafor to beat the buzzer. Rolls in and out and in again.
Yeah, got a little shooter's touch that time for the big guy. He's got a good outside shot. He can knock that 3 down.
Okafor now 6 out of 14 from 3-point range. Gatkuth can't answer it. Weak side rebound by Jaquan Walton. Up ahead, Okafor lays it in with the left hand. 5 in a row for Okafor.
That's what the Texans like to do to people, and the Shockers giving a little taste of their own medicine. Billy Gillespie wants a timeout, not happy with his guys, letting the Shockers get behind them, but a beautiful look up the floor by Wichita State to find Okafor on the breakaway.
You talked about it. Wichita State has only allowed 2 points off turnovers for Tarleton. Normally that's how they butter their bread, and they turn you over, they get to the free throw line and just basically smother you. None of that's happened so far for Tarleton, so they're a little bit out of sorts. Wichita State's handled them.
Is an air ball a turnover?
Close enough.
That was air ball that time. I got Kuth, but they got the ball to Porter, and Porter made a really beautiful pass up the floor. It wasn't an easy pass because Okafor only had 1 step on the defense, but Porter just dropped it in there like a quarterback. It's for Okafor right at the basket. Beautiful pass by Porter and a good finish and good hustle by Gus Okafor.
Wichita State so far has turned it over once and haven't committed a foul yet. So that's about as good as you could draw it up when you're talking about taking care of the ball. Now, neither coach is going to be crazy about their field goal percentage defense. Both teams shooting at a high clip. Hicks misfired from out front. The little hook shot by Gary Clark wouldn't go. Shockers in transition again. Pierre may have gotten bumped, but there's Okafor. Gus Okafor, this might be the Gus Okafor game.
Yeah, the Shocker fans giving him a nice ovation that time. They really appreciate lunch pail guys that get on the boards, get on the floor for the basketball, and out-hustle their opponents. And Gus Okafor is doing all of that so far here in the first half. So Shocker fans letting him know they appreciate that effort.
Biggest run of the game. Shockers have scored 7 points in the last minute.
Boy, they're just cutting up that zone. The Texans doing a nice job of passing it around and finding open guys inside against the Shocker matchup zone.
And it's not just passing it around the perimeter for the sake of passing. They're looking to enter the post. And when they get the opportunity, they've been cashing it in. Freddie Hicks with 4 points.
Yeah, against a matchup zone, you want to move players and move the basketball at the same time and try to confuse the coverages. There's one for Freddie Hicks. Now, he's a guy that's been lighting it up for the Texans. Shane talked about it. He had 30 points against Drake in their last game, 21 points against Boston College in their big win in that game down at the tournament in the Bahamas, or in the, not the Bahamas,
Virgin Islands.
Paradise Jam, Virgin Islands. They won 2, lost 1 down there, but Freddie Hicks just lit it up down there. 26 points, 21 points, and 30 points in 3 games.
2 guys off the bench for Tarleton. Javante Hopkins wearing the mask, covering an injured nose, and also Lou Williams, who averages about 8 points per game, coming off the bench. Those 2 guys in there for the first time. And there's Hopkins checking Craig Porter Jr. at the point. Jerron Pierre trying to create, nothing doing. Tarleton, good on-ball defense, as Bob mentioned.
They do a good job of helping each other as well. Long shot by Scott, but a rebound, another offensive rebound, that time by Poto.
Okafor going to work, didn't draw the foul, and Poto awkwardly tried to grab the offensive rebound. It was over the top of his head and couldn't come down with it.
That came down kind of funny on his, looked like his left leg got bent backwards, but seems to be okay. Man-to-man for the Shockers this trip. There's their guy. This is the guy that's doing all the scoring for him. Looks like Okafor's on him.
Gary Clark wouldn't go. Shema Scott, the point guard, with a rebound.
Yes, strong rebound by Scott.
Scott with a left hand. Boy, he hadn't been asked to score very much. He basically just steadied the ship when Craig Porter Jr. is not in there, so any points you get from Shema Scott is welcome.
You're exactly right. He scored hardly at all so far this season, but looked pretty good on that drive, floating it and shooting it with the offhand.
Scott had 3 points in the opener and hadn't scored since. Barely shoots.
Well, he scored a lot last year for Northwest Florida State when they won the national title up in Hutchinson Junior College ranks. There's the hustle by the Shockers. Getting another loose ball.
Craig Porter Jr. with active hands, and Kenny Poto went to the deck to save it. Pierre for 3. Jerron Pierre Jr. with the Shockers' 3rd triple. And Wichita State suddenly has a little breathing room.
Well, they're waiting for that young man to kind of loosen up from the perimeter. He knocked down a pretty transition 3 that time. He's a kid that makes a lot of shots in practice, but hasn't been real successful yet in the game. There's another high-low, beautiful short corner, and then the high post guy dropping down. That's how you operate against the 2-3 zone.
Gary Clark with 4 points off the bench for the Texans.
I think that was Freddie Hicks with that nice pass.
His 3rd assist. Good call. Poto cut off. Good find to Gus Okafor, and he'll go to the free throw line. So Wichita State leading by 8 as Gus Okafor with 9 points off the bench here in the first half.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
If you're ready.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, an experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the... If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough,
Lakers Bucks in a special all-cast with Stephen A., part of a doubleheader, Friday.
From the something it's got to give category, Bob, Wichita State sends its opponents to the free throw line only 10 times per game on average. Meanwhile, Freddie Hicks has been to the line 52 times by himself in the last 3 games plus this one. But so far, Shockers have committed only 1 foul. Tarleton has committed 7. Wichita State's in the bonus for the final 6:04. And Gus Okafor is kind of leading the charge down low for Wichita State.
Yeah, Gus Okafor giving the Shockers a lift off the bench. A lot of scoring so far here in the first half with 9 points and 4 rebounds. Shockers out rebounding the Texans 14-7, so they're +7 on the boards. And 6 of those are offensive rebounds that they've stuck back in, a few of those. So that's kind of helped their shooting percentage so far the first half.
That's Gus Okafor's first made free throw of the year, but it gets him into double figures. He got 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 minutes off the bench. Near steal by Pierre at the top of that Shocker pressure. Tiger Booker will get to the free throw line as Wichita State guilty of a blocking foul right underneath the rim. Tiger Booker, a real true point guard for Tarleton, decided to take it all the way in, and he'll get free throws.
Let's see if Rojas is set here. Well, he kind of moved into him just a little bit. Sean Castee, the referee out front, made a strong call on it. So good attempt by Rojas, just a little bit late getting there.
Tiger Booker, 7 out of 9 from the foul stripe. He actually spent some time in the transfer portal, kind of exploring his options, testing the waters, as it were.
Yeah,
and
it was
so doesn't have a full complement of games this year.
Yeah, they were telling us that he was in a transfer portal in August and didn't get back on the team till just recently before they started playing games. So kind of an interesting situation, a late portal look, and then got back on the team.
Yeah, didn't play against UNT Dallas or Arizona State, but joined the team in time to play at the Virgin Islands.
Young man out of Chicago, pretty good penetrator.
Scott into the corner. Interesting that Scott and Craig Porter Jr. both in there at the same time for extended minutes here today.
Well, I think they're going to rest Porter so he doesn't have to bring the ball up all the time. Late call. Rojas was inside, had a shot, a lot of contact. I think they were going to let it go if the ball went in the basket, but Jeb Hartness, the underneath referee, let's see if there's some contact on this shot here. Yeah, looks like he got him over the shoulder. Was that Freddie Hicks? He might have gotten called for that.
That's his second foul, Freddie Hicks. Free throw by Rojas goes down. So Wichita State making some hay at the free throw line, as they say. Do people still say that, by the way?
Well,
making some hay?
Guys from your neck of the woods do.
And our age. Rojas nails both. He's had a good first half as well. He's got 5 points, a couple of rebounds.
Same guys that say neck of the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
Rojas can make those free throws. He's 8 for 9 coming into this game. He's a pretty reliable free throw shooter. Made some big ones in that big win at Richmond the Shockers had.
All 5 of his points today from the stripe. Shockers are 10 of 13 from there. Wichita State has led by as many as 10. Booker.
They'll move the ball around, take their time. Oh, turnover that time. Bad pass. Rojas, look out, James.
Gives it up to Pierre, and an offensive foul. So Tarleton getting a couple of calls near the rim, one on a block on a drive by Tiger Booker, and that one's a charge. Jerron Pierre Jr., the guilty party.
Pierre aggressively taking the ball to the basket, but Smith did a nice job of establishing defensive position and drawing that foul.
So lead at 9 and holding. 15 minutes gone by. Checking in is Hayden Archibald in there for the first time for the Texans. He's in the left corner in front of the Shocker bench.
Both coaches playing a lot of guys. They know it's going to be a physical game, hard-fought game. They want to keep both teams fresh.
Archibald averaging about 4 points per game. He's made 5 threes, so keep an eye on him. 44 in purple, there he is, handling it, 6 to shoot. Tiger Booker's got to make a play. Contested shot clock violation. Wichita State with a good defensive possession that time.
Yeah, nice round of applause by the Shocker faithful. They love it when the team plays good team defense, and giving the team a hand that time.
Only the 3rd turnover for Tarleton. They've cooled a little bit from the floor.
Yeah, they're down to 46%. Shocker's shooting 55%, and they've made half of their threes 3 for 6. Not shooting as many threes in this game as they did up in Kansas City.
Porter finishes. Craig Porter Jr. has 9 points.
Well, the Tarleton came over to try to draw the charge on him, but Porter did a nice job of just sliding to his right to avoid that contact and then laid it softly off the glass. That Porter's a smooth player.
Gets skinny when he needs to in traffic, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what, he can do a lot of things well. He scores, he handles the ball, he rebounds, plays defense, blocks shots. Another offensive rebound.
Shamir Bogues
for the Texans.
Quick off his feet, got his own miss and put it back in.
I thought that was Clark, but you might be right.
That was Clark, beg your pardon. The miss was by Bogues. So Clark now with 6 points.
Look at that defense. Boy, they really hound you.
Scott into the corner for a Pierre 3. Wouldn't go.
He had made one just a minute ago. Looked like he had a pretty wide open shot that time. Just a little bit long, hit the back iron. Texans come down. Watch him move the basketball.
Archibald got himself in trouble, picked up his dribble. Now Tiger Booker tries to make a play, approaching 3 minutes. Archibald for 3, too hard, no good. Tarleton now 1 out of 4 from long distance. Wichita State 3 of 7 from 3. Lead's been up to as much as 11 points here in the first half.
Craig Porter bouncing the ball out front, trying to get the Shockers in a set. There's a little ISO play for James Rojas. Boy, a lot of contact.
Got by his first defender, but he was met at the rim.
He's looking at the referee going, what do I got to do to get a call? He thought he got fouled on that one, but here we go to Shockers up by 7.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence. I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence. I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Each year, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works to improve the...
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2...
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
If you're ready...
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
Lakers Bucks in a special altcast with Stephen A. Part of a doubleheader Friday.
Boy, you never know. Wichita State is only shooting 39.9% from the floor on the season. I know 17 minutes does not a game make, but so far Wichita State running their offense as per your key to the game, Bob, and they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're getting the ball inside and going inside, drawing fouls. They've already shot 13 free throws and made 10 of them, shooting 52% from the floor. So they're doing a nice job of running their offense, swinging the ball from side to side and getting that ball inside. They've got a little bit of a height advantage, and they're taking advantage of it.
Tiger Booker has been in there for quite a while now, off the bench, running the offense. Clark's going to step out, shoot a three. Wouldn't go. Archibald pulls down the rebound at 6 feet.
Yeah, Porter just forgot to block his man off, and Archibald went right in there and got the rebound.
Now suddenly Tarleton has gone cold offensively. And Wichita State, despite allowing an offensive rebound, held the Tarleton Texans scoreless last time down, but here they are in transition. Can't finish from point blank.
Yeah, that's what they do. They turn you over, and then they turn it into baskets, but that time missed an easy one at the hoop.
Walton for three. Boy, what a turn of events that was.
Oh, boy. Billy Gillespie's got to be shaking his head over there on the Tarleton bench. They had an easy one at their end they couldn't make, and then the Shockers hit a three at the other end, a 5-point turnaround that time.
Tarleton's only made one of its last 8 from the floor, and after a hot start, they're under 39% for the game.
Shockers going to drop back in that zone, but Tarleton's been cutting it up, and they did it again. This time they hit the high post, then went to the short corner. Shockers don't seem to be able to cover that high post short corner.
Ja'Cory Smith had to spend some time on the bench with 2 first-half fouls, but he's come back in and now has 10 points.
Yeah, he's a JC transfer, played at East Mississippi Community College. Second leading scorer all time there.
Foul was on Poto. Free throw wouldn't go. Poto pulls down his 5th rebound. Final 90 seconds of the first half.
They do a good job at jumping out when you set a ball screen and they double team, try to get that ball out of Porter's hands. They're going to call that ball off of Porter. He thought it was deflected. But that's 2 times in a row where a jump switch or jump double team has caused a turnover on the Shocker end.
Only 4 turnovers committed by Wichita State, though, 2 for Tarleton. So both teams have taken pretty good care of it.
They're letting Clark have that.
Poto's going to let him have it, yeah.
They're going to let him have that 3 out there.
Bogues all the way across the lane, left it short. Gus Okafor with a rebound and a foul in backcourt. Wichita State will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, kind of a silly foul that time, but I think it was on Gary Clark. Okafor had that rebound. I don't think you're poking the ball out of that guy's hands, but Gary Clark tried to slap it and got called for the foul. That's some more free throws for the Shockers. They've been living at the line here in the first half.
10 of 13 to just 3 of 4 for Tarleton. That's one of the reasons for the point spread right now, Bob. Shockers +7 from the free throw line.
And as you mentioned, it's usually the other way around. The Tarleton Texans normally get many, many more free throws than their opponents.
Well, Gus Okafor is living right today. That free throw hit the top of the backboard before settling in.
Okay, we're playing horse. We're on E, Shane. Back of the rim, up top of the backboard, then swish. Got it?
Not even shooting that one. You can have it. That one right through there. Gus Okafor is having himself a first half.
He sure is.
12 points, 5 rebounds, and only 14 minutes of play. Daring Clark to shoot.
You know, I thought Okafor was going to get that one, but Porter went up above him. But there's Archibald taking it away from him.
Around Okafor, it wouldn't go. The follow wouldn't go. There is a lid on the basket for Tarleton right now. They'll go to the free throw line with an opportunity to get within 10, but they can't buy one all of a sudden. They're 1 for their last 10 from the floor.
Coach Isaac Brown and Craig Porter having a discussion over there. I think he lost his shoe coming up the floor, and that distracted him. He didn't protect the basketball. Archibald did a great job of sneaking behind him and stealing it, and that's the reason they're at the free throw line right here.
Bogue's not a great free throw shooter, but knocks that one down. He's got 6 points.
Isaac Brown said, well, just hold on to the ball and and get the ball to somebody else or call timeout so you get your shoe back
Got
on.
2 timeouts left. You might as well use it. Bogues hits both. Into the game now comes Corian Russian. He's in there for the first time.
And Bogues, a young man, just made the free throws. He had 20 points last year against KU up in Allen Fieldhouse, so he's capable of scoring some points. There's a nice cut by Walton. Boy, when you use the ball screen out front, watch out. They just jump you and they put an aggressive trap on you out front.
Archibald hounding Jaquan Walton. Walton's just pounding it. Scott with a step back 3. And Okafor with a follow. Gus Okafor with a tip slam. And that's how we go to break. It was the first half of Gus Okafor, even before that acrobatic slam, Bob.
This is Okafor's world. We just passing through it today. I'll tell you, what a game, what a first half by Gus Okafor. Watch this rebound. Way up there and slams it in at the end of the half. Exclamation point.
Gus Okafor with 14 and 6 in 15 minutes off the bench. Wichita State by a dozen here at the break. When we return, our halftime show from Charles Koch Arena.
Around the rim.
Technically, a layup can be defined many different ways, but according to the stats, Bob, Tarleton was 7 of 16 on point blankers, layups.
Yeah.
9 misses from right at the rim.
Yeah, a lot of misses in there, but I'll tell you what, they're a well-schooled bunch. They don't turn the ball over much. They run their offense, and boy, as you can see right now, they like to get in your face and really pressure you.
Poto backing down Hicks and lays it in. Basically, lays it in. Little baby hook shot for Kenny Poto.
Oh, that was the formula for a 12-point lead in the first half for Wichita State. Get the ball inside. Use your height advantage.
Poto's going to be checked by 6'6" Freddie Hicks. He's going to have that shot a lot in the second half.
Nice kick out by Smith there. Wide open shot. I think they're going to catch Freddie throwing Poto down. That's a third foul, Shane. That's a big foul for the Texans.
That's the 10th time that they've fouled in the game overall, but that's huge for Freddie Hicks.
Coach Gillespie's going to have to sit down his leading scorer. Yeah, that's an unfortunate foul for the Texans. Gillespie not too happy with his star Freddie Hicks right now.
Hicks went crazy at the Paradise Jam in those 3 games, with that 30-pointer against Drake being the highlight.
Oh,
good steal by Ja'Cory Smith.
Just snatched it out of the air.
Forced, couldn't hit. Poto with a good hustle play to try to keep it in bounds. I think it'll stay on this end, though.
Well, if you think the Texans are going to lay down and go away, you're mistaken. They will battle the whole way here in the second half, regardless of the score. They're used to playing on the road. They're used to hostile environments.
Bogues rattles it out. Boy, that one was halfway down and wouldn't stay. Walton knifes his way in and is fouled on the floor. That will not count.
Boy, he's really tough in transition. Coach Isaac Brown wanted that to be an and one. He thought he was fouled going up. Let's see. And there's a hack right there before he started up.
Yeah,
I think it's a good call. He's really tough to handle in transition. 6'7", as you see there, pretty quick, and he handles the ball really well for a guy his size. Careful.
And Xavier Bell may have gotten away with one there.
Well, Bell's got to seal his man better. If they're going to lob it over the top, he's got to seal that defender better.
Shakur Daniel was right in his hip pocket. Shockers will keep it with 24 to shoot.
Tarleton just doesn't let you do what you want to do. They try to take away whatever you're trying to run.
Porter leaves for Poto, and a blocked shot by Ja'Cory Smith.
Well, he snatched one out of the air a minute ago, and now that time snatched the ball out of Poto's hands.
Smith for 3. He has been the best player on the floor for Tarleton this afternoon, bar none.
I mean, he's not going to go down without a fight. The junior JC transfer from East Mississippi. He wants to get the Texans back in this ball game.
It's only the second Tarleton 3 that's gone down today. They're 2 out of 7. Smith with 13 points.
Good ball movement that time by the Shockers. Rojas passed up a corner three, got it to Bell out front.
Tiger Booker with a little teardrop. The largest run that Tarleton had in the first half, Bob, was 3. So expect a little 5 or 7 point streak at some point in the second half. You wouldn't think that could last for the entire game.
Well, they're used to playing on the road. They lost by 3 points at Arizona State. And we talked about how well they played down at the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands.
And that Arizona State loss was without Freddie Hicks. Archibald set to come back in. Poto with a lay-in.
Now that time it was the Shockers going to that short corner, got it to Poto, and he made a nice strong move to the basket, laying it over the rim.
Kenny Poto with 9 points for Wichita State.
We'll change defense now. Matchup zone for the Shockers this time. Look out.
And that led to a turnover. That's over and back. Tiger Booker couldn't quite handle it near the midcourt stripe. Archibald back in.
Well, the switching defenses have been very effective for the Wichita State. It caused Richmond all kinds of problems in their win there. And then up in Kansas City, they forced Grand Canyon into a lot of turnovers with their switching from man-to-man to matchup zones and different presses. Kept the schools off balance.
Well, Tarleton with just the 3rd turnover of the game.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Smith on a hold. Rojas was trying to go out and set a back screen, and he stumbled because I think Jakari Smith had a hold of him.
I'm going to give it to Shakur Daniel. It's Daniel's 3rd foul.
You can see how hard the Texans worked to keep you from under your offense. They were trying to post up Jaquan Walton that time. He had the little shorter defender on him, Archibald.
If that's against Daniel, that's 4 before Gillespie could get him out of there.
See, they're trying to post up Walton there.
Shakur Daniel averages nearly 9 points and 2.5 assists per game. Xavier Bell to the free throw line where Wichita State has enjoyed an advantage. That's Daniel's 4th foul. So he committed 3 and 4 before he could be replaced.
He's an important guy for Billy Gillespie. He played for Coach Gillespie at Ranger Junior College before he moved over to Tarleton, and he's been at Tarleton with 3 years. So he's been with Coach Gillespie for 4 years. And Shakur Daniels, he's kind of their leader, kind of their Swiss Army knife guy. Does a little bit of everything.
Daniel with 4 and Hicks with 3. So Tarleton's got some foul issues pretty early in the second half. The offense has come from Jakari Smith most of this game, and another point blanker that Tarleton couldn't get to go down. Archibald knocked it out of bounds, and for what plagued Wichita State and Kansas City is transferred over to Tarleton here in this building. They can't buy one in close.
Yeah, missed shots at the rim. You got to focus and concentrate and get that ball in the rim. I think that time was Smith. He went right around Rojas, got all the way to the hoop, but couldn't get it in there.
And that's only Smith's 3rd miss of the game. He's 6 out of 9 from the floor. Bell tried to shake Archibald. And a little teardrop drops in there. Xavier Bell's first basket. He's got 5 points. 4 in a row for Wichita State. They now lead it by 15.
Yeah, he's got a height advantage on Archibald. He's pretty good at exploiting those height advantages and going inside, especially on that left side.
Boy, a blocking foul on Kenny Poto, and he may have gotten stepped on in the middle of the lane. Wichita State leading by 15 for now. It looks like Kenny Poto is going to be okay, and he is going to get saddled with the foul. So at the under 16, Wichita State with a good start to the second half.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough,
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
if you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough,
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you're ready. If you're ready. If you're ready.
Feels like a change is coming.
Wichita State has scored 6 in a row over the last 137. And Tarleton got off to a pretty hot start shooting, Bob, but since then they've had a hard time getting the ball in the basket, and they've missed a lot of close-in shots. They're shooting only 36% for the game now.
Yeah, have had a lot of shots in around the basket and just aren't concentrating and getting that ball in the hoop. But credit Wichita State for getting up there and bothering those shots. And boy, that third foul on Freddie Hicks didn't help the Texans. He got that pretty early here in the second half.
Lou Williams, first point of the game after drawing a foul on Kenny Poto. That was Poto's third foul. And again, as Bob pointed out, Freddie Hicks has three fouls, and Shakur Daniel has 4 fouls for Tarleton as Lou Williams drops in both free throws.
Well, number 23, Jakari Smith's trying to make up for both those guys. He's got a couple of steals and really been all over the court here in the second half, trying to will his team back.
He lost James Rojas, who lays it in.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. You're right. He's absolutely right. He got his head turned. He got focused on the basketball and didn't see Rojas going back door.
Yeah, another trip to the free throw line for Tarleton. That'll be Jakari Smith, and he's a little bit hobbled as he makes his way to the free throw line.
Yeah, caught it at the high post, turned and went hard. I think Rojas got that foul. He and Porter were right there trying to block that shot, but Smith's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws.
Now that's Rojas' third foul. So Wichita State doesn't have many fouls, but 3 apiece for Rojas and now Poto.
He had 16 points at Arizona State, hit 7 out of 10 free throws in that game. 12 points in their win against Belmont down in the tournament down the Virgin Islands.
Smith makes both free throws. 2 out of 3 now, and Walton back the other way. Boy, that didn't take long for Wichita State to go end-to-end.
Yeah, Shockers snuck behind the Texans that time. They didn't have anybody back protecting the basket, and Walton snuck behind him. Good recognition. I think it was Porter that threw that pass, not sure.
And then Clark was whistled for the foul. So that's his second. Jaquan Walton to shoot 2. And a line change coming for Tarleton after this make.
Walton had 21 points, 10 rebounds against San Francisco in that championship game up in Kansas City. 8 out of 11 in that game, hit 2 of 3 threes. Really had an outstanding ball game for Wichita State in that game.
Boy, Billy Gillespie must think the time is now, because Daniel and Hicks are both back into the game at the 15-12 mark. Also checking in, Javante Hopkins played briefly in the first half. Walton tries to nail both free throws, and he does. Rolls that one in.
Well, sometimes you can hold guys out too long, and the game gets out of hand. You bring them back in, it's too late. So Billy Gillespie going to roll the dice now.
Shockers have controlled the second half.
Isaac Brown switching up defenses, going from man to zone, but that short corner is giving him trouble.
Hicks blocked by Porter and may have been blocked again. Rojas picks up the loose ball.
Boy, Craig Porter gets more blocked shots than any 6'2" guard in the country, I think.
He's averaging almost 2 blocks per game and 8 rebounds per game. Today, not one of his strongest efforts on the boards, but Porter basically owned that possession, and Wichita State's up 17.
Yeah, kind of a ghost screen that time. Bell came up, faked like he was going to set a screen, and then Porter got by his man for the little floater.
Lou Williams going to check back in for Tarleton. They just cannot buy one. No baskets in the last 3.5 minutes.
Well, watch out for that high-low post.
Gatkuth for 3, well short. Hicks, Johnny on the spot. Basically bounced right in Freddie Hicks' lap. He's got 7.
Yeah, it was well short of the basket. Hit the front of the rim, but came right down to Freddie Hicks.
Hicks with 7 points, 3 rebounds now. Rojas with a long 3. That wouldn't go down. A rebound by Hicks.
He's going to probably come out because Shockers have been doing a really good job of running their offense and getting to the free throw line. I don't think Isaac Brown wants quick shots against this Texas team. Yeah, Rojas is coming out. Kenny Poto back in.
A rare turnover for Tarleton. That's just the 4th, second of the half. So Poto back in. Talk about throwing caution to the wind. There are plenty of guys out there in fairly deep foul trouble, but
well, you're down 15 with 13 minutes to go. Why wait? You better catch up now.
And Poto back in with those 3 fouls, so he trades places with James Rojas, who has 3.
Now let's see how Jerron Pierre handles the pressure here in the full court.
And this is why you do all those dribbling drills, that's for sure.
Yes, you do.
Lou Williams got a little overzealous. And that's now 16 fouls in the second half for Tarleton. And so Wichita State, 16 of 19 from the free throw stripe. They figure to be shooting a few more of those the rest of the way. It'll also be interesting to see what the offense looks like with Shamaw Scott out there by himself running the point. He had a solid first half, but most of that was with Craig Porter out there with him.
They got 4 newcomers out there with Kenny Poto.
Pierre lays it in. Boy, he showed off the dribbling prowess there.
He's got a lot of game. I'll tell you, Jerron Pierre has got a lot of game. He can shoot the 3 as you saw in the first half, and right there he can drive right, he can drive left and finish at the rim. 6'5" guard with a lot of offensive skills.
Hopkins. Now Lou Williams hooks it up and in. A rare make from in close for Tarleton. Lou Williams with his first basket. He's got 4 points.
Yeah, he shot the jump hook over the 6'11" Shocker, Kenny Poto. Nice bucket by Williams.
Okafor back in there for Wichita State after a red-hot first half. And a bullet pass that Kenny Poto couldn't handle. Up ahead, Hicks working on Walton. Spun away from him, and they're going to get Walton for reaching in.
Yeah, he grabbed him just a little bit, pulled Hicks off balance, so Freddie Hicks going to get to the free throw line. He was living at the line down at the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands. One game he shot 28 free throws. That was the game against Belmont, their first game down there. He was 18 of 28. That's a lot of free throws for one guy to shoot.
He has lived at the free throw line.
26 points, 8 rebounds in that first game. Then followed that up with 21 points against BC and 30 points against Drake in a losing cause.
Freshman of the year in the WAC in the COVID year. Averaged 12.8 points per game last year. And Hicks is, for as much as he's at the free throw line, he's not a great free throw shooter, but just by volume racks up the points from there. Scott had it poked away from behind.
Oh, he had a step on his man. He was pressuring him all the way up the court. Shamaw did a little hesitation move and got by his man, but then got the ball poked away from him. Boy, they make it hard for you to run your out-of-bounds plays. Look at them pressuring. It's hard to get the ball in bounds.
Shockers led by as many as 17 a moment ago. They're still 5 for their last 6 from the floor. Walton avoided the defense, and Poto lays it in.
Well, really nice, unselfish play that time. Shamal got to drive into the basket, kicked it out to Walton. Walton passed up that shot, got it to Poto for the easy one off the glass. Good passing by Wichita State.
Walton actually passed up 2 shots. He had a 3 and then he had a mid-range shot. Didn't want either one of them.
He sure did, but the Shockers haven't figured out a way to cover that short corner in their zone.
Lou Williams now with 6 points.
They've gotten about 6 or 7 just easy wide open shots going from the high post to the short corner.
Scott cross court to a wide open three. Poto with a putback, and boy, he was all alone and didn't realize it. Blew the bunny.
Oh, I thought Pierre was going to intercept that long pass, but he just missed it. Went right by his hand.
That could lays it in.
Yeah, Poto was trying to just catch and go right up, but his leg kind of buckled underneath him. Lost his balance, and Tarleton turned that turnover into, or that missed shot into a quick 2 points.
Lead cut down to 11, so it's manageable now for Tarleton midway through the second half.
Well, they're trying to reverse the ball through the post man, but Tarleton's not letting them.
Okafor with the left hand. He's had at least 2 baskets with his offhand.
Yeah, Big Gus said, okay, if you want to pressure the perimeter, I'll just drive by my man to the basket.
Williams.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. Can't leave him open.
He's got his average in this half.
Yeah, doesn't have a great percentage, just 29% for the season, but he's known to be a pretty good three-point shooter.
Knows how to put it in the basket. 8.2 points per game. Their 6th man. Took him a while to get into the contest today, but he's warming up in the second half, midway through it.
They've really got the Shockers pushed out. They're starting their offense about 35 feet from the basket.
Poto had a back door, and Okafor missed him. This is all with Craig Porter Jr. getting some valuable minutes over there on the bench.
Yeah, you see the offense struggling a little bit with Porter on the bench.
Scott turned it over. Hicks returned the favor. Boy, he thought Lou Williams was going to cut to the basket. Instead, he flared to the corner, and back-to-back turnovers take us to break. Wichita State still up by 11.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
This is 100% fresh beef. With 2...
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you're ready. If you're ready. If you're ready. If you're ready.
In a somewhat low possession game in the first 5 games for Wichita State, normally that would be bad news, but today it hasn't been. They are 8 of 10 from the floor inside the three-point line, I should say, in the second half. And Bob, Wichita State shooting 56.4% for the game.
Yeah, the Tarleton Texans shooting 50% here in the second half, 7 out of 14. But as you mentioned, Shockers shooting better than that, 62%. But 4 turnovers for the Shockers here already in the second half. The Tarleton pressure is starting to make it difficult for the Shockers to run their offense.
And now Shamaz Scott has been joined in the backcourt by Craig Porter Jr., who checked in at the break, but it continues to be Scott to do the majority of the ball handling. Committed his first turnover just a minute ago, Scott did. A corner three, almost crawled in. Poto took it away from everybody and lays it in. Kenny Poto's having quite an afternoon too.
He sure is. He's doing a lot of really good work on the boards, offensively and defensive boards.
Gatkuth for 3, off the heel, no good. And Hicks just wrestled it away from 2 Shockers. Okafor cleans up that miss.
Yeah, Hicks kind of out-hustled the Shockers on that offensive rebound, but couldn't get the ball in the basket. And Okafor, nobody's taking the ball out of his hands that time.
Kenny Poto with 13 points and now 8 rebounds for the Shocker big.
They're trying to go back into him on this side. Going to clear the side for him, let him work.
Scott wants a 3, left it short. And Okafor fouls Hicks in backcourt, going for the loose ball.
Yeah, Okafor did a nice job of recognizing the double team, skipped it over to his teammate over in the corner, Shamaz Scott. Scott was kind of a line driver there, didn't get enough arch on that ball. Okafor got called for the foul as he raked the Texans' arm, trying to get that ball away from him.
Wichita State's 0 for its last 6 from three-point range after starting 4 for 8.
There's Freddie Hicks. They're going to clear the side, see if he can work on Kenny Poto. Gives it up, though, and Williams knocks down a shot. That's the second long one he's knocked down here.
Texans hanging around. They're down 10 with 8 minutes left to go, though.
Yeah, they were down 12 at halftime, so they've made up 2 points.
Okafor walks into a 3 and hits. Gus Okafor and Kenny Poto taking turns dominating on the offensive end.
Yeah, he hoped the Shockers come back in that game against San Francisco in the second half. Boy, Hicks ran into a wall that time.
And another miss from in close. 2 of them, in fact, including the tip attempt by Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkins had it right there at the hoop. Maybe that mask, he broke his nose down in the Drake game at the Paradise Jam and might have affected that shot there. He thought about shooting that, didn't he?
He did.
He said, I better run some offense.
Poto with a skip pass. Now Pierre's got to force. Somebody does. Scott did beat the buzzer and hit the rim.
Good defense that time by Tarleton.
Scott had the unenviable task of trying to beat the buzzer with a 3. Hicks.
Oh, he's really good going to his right, shooting those little floaters. He just made a living down in the Paradise Jam with that one. We've got a stoppage of play.
Hicks with 11 points now.
Hicks and Poto are having some words, but they're both smiling, so it didn't look like they were angry words.
So Wichita State with just over 7 left in the second half.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
Each year, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works to improve the...
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, an experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you're ready,
Medium latte, half calf, no foam.
Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
if you're ready,
an experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the... An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
Lakers Bucks in a special altcast with Stephen A. Part of a doubleheader Friday.
Feels like a change is coming.
Hicks and Kenny Poto both with three fouls and playing with 3 fouls. Poto didn't appreciate Hicks stepping over him when Poto was on the deck, but fortunately for both players, it didn't escalate.
Well, I don't know what else better than stepping on him.
I suppose.
I'm not sure what else he was supposed to do. It didn't look like it was anything disrespectful to me, but Kenny thought otherwise. But watch out for Hicks. He's a guy. If he gets it going, he can bring them back. He can score in bunches. So far in the second half, they're only shooting 45%, but they got 2 or 3 threes. Shockers only 1 of 7 from threes here in the second half.
Now Craig Porter will bring it up against Tiger Booker's pressure. Porter's been deferring as far as the ball handling is concerned for most of the game. And that lefty hook by Rojas did everything but go down. 3 different players hit the deck. Here comes Hicks in a hurry. Got it back from Williams, and it's blocked again by Craig Porter Jr. and a hard fall by Lou Williams on a foul by Gus Okafor.
Yeah, he and Okafor were battling for the ball, and Williams got the worst of it, coming down hard on his back and his head. Watch Porter block this shot by Hicks inside, and then bam! Wow, what a tough landing that time for Lou Williams. Landed on his back, and then looked like his head snapped back and hit the floor also.
Yeah, he's holding the back of his head, so he was a little slow in getting up. That is foul number 5 on Wichita State of the half, so no free throws. So Williams can go over and collect himself a little bit, clear the cobwebs. Scott comes out. In comes Jaquan Walton for Wichita State. So Williams had been kind of the catalyst in the second half and bringing this comeback for Tarleton.
Well, Smith, Hicks, and then Williams knocking down those 3-pointers. They've done a good job of when they get the basketball, when they force Wichita State to miss, they are pushing it up the court and really trying to score early offense before the defense is set. And they've really been shooting it quickly.
Archibald in for Tarleton.
Looks like their trainer over there checking out Williams, trying to holding up fingers, holding up numbers. They're both laughing, so it must not be too serious, but they're pretty careful with concussion protocols now.
No doubt.
Wow.
Force 3 over everything by Shakur Daniel.
Yeah, that was way long.
A reminder now, Hicks with 3 fouls. Daniel has 4 for Tarleton, and Rojas on the floor has 3 fouls for Wichita State. And a poor turnover by Rojas. Fired it right into the breadbasket of Shakur Daniel. That is 10 turnovers now for Wichita State. Rojas cleans up the miss.
Look out. Look out for Archibald.
Archibald kind of sniffing around in
yeah,
backcourt.
Sure is. That was a really good job. Okafor did a good job of pressuring Hicks' shot, and Rojas went up and got a tough defensive rebound.
Rojas lays that one in. He missed one from in close a minute ago, but that's his second field goal, and he now has 9 points. So lead back to 13.
Well, after the turnover, I think Isaac Brown put Poto at the table to come in for Rojas, and Rojas, since then, he's got a defensive rebound and a nice driving basket that time.
And again, he is in charge of trying to stop Freddie Hicks from getting loose.
Oh, a little carry that time. Got away with it.
And Rojas had a rebound taken right out of his hands by Archibald. He wants a 3, and that's over everything.
Yeah, you can't bring the ball down. That Archibald's a little sneaky in there, stealing that basketball.
You know, the one thing in the specialty stats, and we pour over all of them, obviously, especially at the half, but the one thing that Wichita State has kept Tarleton from is an extended run. The longest run of this game for Tarleton has been 5-0. That's been it. So Wichita State, consequently, has been able to keep them at arm's length. A give and go to Okafor, and he finishes again. He's got 23 points, Bob.
Well, when you pressure that far away from the basket, all their defenders are out away from the basket trying to prevent the Shockers from running their offense. But if you get the ball inside or drive to the basket, there's no help in there. So if you can get to the basket, there's no help, and you get a pretty open shot.
Archibald misfires again. Rojas all of a sudden turns into Dennis Rodman, grabbing every rebound out there. He's got 8 rebounds now to go with his 9 points. And Kenny Poto's been over at the scorer's table for a long time.
Well, Tarleton's had a number of open looks, but they haven't been able to knock many of them down here in the last couple of minutes. Shockers extending their lead up to 15 again.
Poto might be asking Isaac Brown, are you sure you want me to go in? Okafor for 3 more. That would have been icing on the cake. Rojas kept it alive but couldn't control. Freddie Hicks pulled it down.
Rojas was there to tip it in, but he mistimed his jump. The ball took another bounce on the rim, and it was coming off as Rojas was coming down.
And
they just can't buy one outside.
That's 3 misses in a row for him, and he had 5 of them, 5 makes coming into the game. That's really not their forte, shooting threes, and they're only 3 out of 14 today.
Yeah, they like to attack the basket.
Speaking of, Wichita State's been doing a good job of attacking the basket too. Xavier Bell misses.
He got in there, but there was help that time, and they made him take a bad shot.
Hicks will go to the free throw line. That's going to be a foul, I think, on Craig Porter Jr. as Wichita State keeping Tarleton at arm's length.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows. My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
If you're ready.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
If you're ready.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the...
If you're ready.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough.
Feels like a change is coming. Feels like a change is coming.
Well, a big key to this game this afternoon, Bob, besides Wichita State's post play, if you want to include Gus Okafor in that with Kenny Poto, and that is Wichita State's been able to take care of the ball. Our key to the second half for Wichita State would be play with the poise. They've only turned it over 11 times against a team that turns you over twice as much as that. And points off turnovers today are dead even at 9 apiece. So Wichita State holding the fort there.
Yeah, they're doing a good job and not turning the ball over. Had a few bad passes, but compared to what Tarleton normally does to people, they're doing a pretty good job. And I'll tell you, we talked about getting the ball inside, and Wichita State's doing a great job of that. Poto with 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. Gus Okafor, 21 points on 8 of 10 shooting. So between the two big guys, 13 of 16 from the field for Poto and Okafor. That's a really high percentage, 13 of 16.
Gary Clark checks in, so they go defense for offense as Hicks sits down. Hicks has 13 points.
All-out pressure. Now, no tomorrow for the Texans. There's a steal. Just a poor bounce pass by Pierre.
Hopkins with the theft. Williams back in there. Good to see him back in there.
Oh, boy.
And a three-point nailed by Gatkuth. That's his first triple, and he line drives one in to cut the Wichita State lead down. Now, we're inside 3 minutes. First coach has called timeout. We'll step away.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
If you thought one napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, an experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
This is 100% fresh beef with 2
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs installing windows.
Medium latte, half calf, no foam. Thanks.
Quite the personalized order.
I know what I like.
I remember when I first started flying, and we would experience turbulence.
If you're ready. If you're ready.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the
Well, a good way to invite Tarleton back into the game is live ball turnovers, and that's what Wichita State just committed prior to that last time out.
Yeah, they had a 15-point lead. Tarleton put a full court press on Wichita State, and kind of a lazy bounce pass resulted in a turnover. They quickly turned that into a three-point shot. Now they're only down 12, and they're going to go all-out pressure now, and it looks like Xavier Bell is going to be in for Wichita State.
So it's Bell and Craig Porter Jr. in backcourt, although Jaquan Walton, they trust him well enough to keep Lou Williams at bay.
I guess hand checking's allowed now.
I guess
again.
So. Shockers are going just with a 1-4 flat look, and now it comes double team pressure. See if Wichita State can take advantage.
Kind of a blitz that time by the Texans, sprinting at the basketball, trying to take them out of what they were trying to run. I think we might get a foul on, well, let's see what they got.
I think on the pass, Okafor was trying to get to Kenny Poto, maybe got his arm grabbed.
I thought they might call it on Poto, but I think it happened before.
Happened before that, yeah.
Before he got in a shoving match with somebody. It was on the drive.
Free throws the rest of the way for both teams. Okafor to the line.
Interesting defense. When they got down there, the shot clock got down below 10. They sprinted a second defender at the ball and made Jaquan Walton go out of the play that Isaac Brown wanted to run. So interesting tactic that time by the Texans.
Lead up to a dozen. Okafor's career day continues. He's got 22 and holding, 4 out of 6 from the free throw line. Shocker, 17 of 21 from the stripe today. Tarleton running out of possessions for a team that doesn't really rely on threes that much. Having to eat some clock. Williams for three, banks it in.
Banked it in.
Lou Williams' second triple.
I guess that concussion protocol, he got through it okay.
Everything went fine, apparently.
He
Checked
came
out.
down on his head about 3 minutes ago pretty solidly.
Now, inside 2 minutes left to go. They run and jump at Porter.
2 guys on the ball. Somebody's open.
Back to Porter and back to the double team. There's the open man. Okafor faked the man off of his feet, and we'll go to the free throw line.
Well, good job by the Shockers not panicking that time and faking before they passed. Porter faked before he passed, got it to Poto at the high post. If you get the ball in the middle of the floor, that hurts pressure defense.
Poto's done a nice job the last couple of times that they've tried to get out of the point guard's hand, just turning, facing, and kind of playing it cool.
Yep, that's what you got to do. Keep the ball up, turn, fake before you pass. That's another missed free throw by Gus Okafor. That's about the only thing he's not doing right today.
Okafor, 22 points, 7 rebounds. The 22 points, a career high.
Well, he was all conference at Southeast Louisiana last year, had 6 games of 20 or more points, and
live sports, thousands of live events, ESPN Plus originals, the exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library, exclusive access,
ball game,
and they are threes for 1 in the last couple of times down with Gus Okafor's misses from the free throw line.
Yeah, bank in by Williams, but no bank that time. Ja'Cory Smith swished that one from about a step behind the three-point line.
So Tarleton, as Bob mentioned, used to hitting the road. Matter of fact, they played at Allen Fieldhouse last year and also played against Gonzaga away from home. They'll be at Baylor here in a couple of games after they go home to take on Weber State and Wiley College. And then we'll take on a fellow American foe in UCF.
Yeah, they got a big home game on November 29th. They're trying to get a big crowd for that one. They got Weber State coming into their place.
Wichita State will be right back here on Tuesday as the Missouri Tigers come to town. That'll be their first trip away from Columbia, Missouri, and then a trip to K-State and down there at the bottom of the screen against Oklahoma State in the downtown arena.
Yeah, we've got that game Tuesday night. Missouri Tigers coming in here. The Shockers went down there and beat the Tigers in Columbia, so they're going to be looking for a little revenge.
Poto comes up to help as Tarleton was double teaming Craig Porter without the ball in backcourt, wisely so. Shockers solve that, and we're going to be inside a minute before Wichita State shoots again, you would think. Trying to get it out of Bell's hands, they do. There's a skip pass. And Wichita State content to play catch. Now Porter attacks and lobs for Okafor. Another slam dunk for Gus Okafor.
Yeah, Craig Porter and Gus Okafor on the same wavelength that time. Beautiful lob pass by Porter to Okafor, and this crowd is on their feet here at Charles Koch Arena.
12th helper for Wichita State today, and that might just about do it. Poto is going to get called for bumping Freddie Hicks.
Yeah, before the block shot, Shocker fans don't like the call, but if you watch on the replay here, he kind of gives them a little, here's the replay of Porter driving late in the shot clock, and boom, beautiful lob pass to Gus Okafor to pad to that career game he's having here for Wichita State.
Hicks rattles in his 5th free throw. He's got 13 points. Meanwhile, Gus Okafor has 25 points on 11 shots. Both free throws knocked down by Freddie Hicks.
Boy, those Texans are flying around the court trying to get a steal. They're going to get called for a foul in the back court, though. I think Hopkins is going to get called for that one.
Running out of time, so they got to hope that Wichita State continues to, I don't want to say falter, but not cash in all their freebies, I guess.
Billy Gillespie's over there trying to work Sean Cassidy, the official, but Sean's not having anything of it. He said, hey, hack him on the arm in the backcourt. I got to call it, Coach.
Xavier Bell's 3 out of 4 from the stripe today. He was a perfect 6 of 6 coming into action today, so 9 of 10 on the year for Xavier Bell.
He was pretty reliable at Drexel, played there for 2 seasons, shot 76 from the from the free throw line in his 2 years at Drexel.
79% from the stripe today. Wichita State has actually outshot Tarleton from the line in makes and attempts, and not many teams can say that. Bell knocks down both. A 3-possession game with 39 seconds.
They want to try to get a quick one here.
And another block shot by Craig Porter Jr. Okafor with a loose ball, and he's fouled in backcourt.
Well, he had Walton open at the other end, but he was getting mugged down on the defensive end and couldn't get the ball down the floor to Walton. But another big rebound by Okafor and another block shot by Craig Porter.
Sooner or later, people are going to get the memo on Craig Porter Jr. He's got 5 block shots today to go along with 11 points and 4 assists.
Yeah, he's just amazing. It's amazing how many block shots he gets and doesn't foul very often on those attempts, those block shot attempts. It really gets up in the air. He's got great spring. Yeah.
So now the Shockers are in the double bonus, although with 31 and a half seconds left. Might not matter much.
That's 21 of 26 today for the Shockers, 81% from the line, and add one more.
That'll play. Gus Okafor's career day continues. 27 to go with 8 rebounds in 30 minutes of play.
Yeah, kind of a careless foul that time by Kenny Poto. You don't want to foul and let them score with the clock stop, but Poto gave him a little hip check as they ran that weave out front. That's 5 fouls for Kenny Poto. He's going to come out.
Poto did match a career high with 9 rebounds today. 13 points on 5 of 6 from the floor. Kenny Poto fouls out.
I got to say, that's the best game Kenny Poto's had this season so far. He had a pretty good game against Alcorn State, but it was a losing cause. He had 13 points in that game, but Alcorn got out of here with a victory.
Ja'Cory Smith with 18 points, now make it 19. He's had a solid game. He's only taken 10 shots to get his 19 points.
Yeah, they're starting to chalk up some free throws now. That's 10 for 11 now for the game, or for this half. That's a 15 of 17 for the game for Tarleton.
Looks like it's going to be too little too late. A rare miss from the line. Walton with a rebound. We'll see how Pierre didn't run any extra clock, but he got fouled from behind. I was going to say, we'll see how Wichita State handles it in backcourt, but they went for the home run ball.
Yeah, it was a good look up the court. Found Pierre open behind the defense, and he went in there strong. Got knocked on the head. The referee asked him if he's okay. He said, "I'm all right."
This will be Pierre's first free throws this afternoon. He's 3 of 6 on the year.
Good look at Jerron Pierre, the transfer from Southern Miss. He averaged 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, hit 7 threes against Rice last year. So this young man is an explosive offensive player.
He nails both of his free throws, and Wichita State turns the tables on Tarleton this afternoon by knocking down 23 of 28 from the free throw line. Now make it 24 out of 29. And that's going to just about do it. Billy Gillespie's going to call off the Dogs. Wichita State is going to win this one by a dozen. A season-high 83 points for Wichita State as they improve to 4-2 on the year, bouncing back from that tough loss where, Bob, they had a hard time putting in the basket against San Francisco.
I'll tell you what, it's a really good win for Wichita State against Tarleton. This team, I'll tell you what, they're going to finish a lot higher than their pick in the WAC conference. I bet they're going to be up there in the top 3 or 4 in the WAC conference this season. Billy Gillespie's got a heck of a team. They almost won the Paradise Jam down in the Virgin Islands earlier this week, so a really good win for Wichita State.
Shockers held Freddie Hicks down and got a career day from Gus Okafor.